What's up, everybody? We are kicking it in the cumulative test review 1 through 50, and I'm going to move pretty quickly through these. And again, you can pause them, back them up, whatever. And I'm going to release the answer key to these in the morning, so I have an opportunity there. So this will just be part of this video. I'll probably have to break it up into a few sections just to when I have opportunities to put these questions in. So let me fly through and see how we do. And if I make mistakes, let me know about it in the chat. So, number of cups varies directly. When you see the word varies directly, y equals kx. Because remember we spelled directly wrong with the k. It helps us remember y equals kx. Okay. But when you have this, the cool thing is that if I divide both sides by x, then I get y over x equals k, where k is some constant number. In this situation, it looks like a proportion. 3 cups, there are 24 fluid ounces. So in other words, 3 might be the x and 24 would be the y, but it really doesn't matter as long as you're consistent in how you set it up. So 24 over 3, this would be like the y, this would be like the x. But either way. How many cups are there in 168 fluid ounces? So 168 has to go on the top. That's the only rule. And then this could be the unknown value here. Why is that on top? That's because it's 24 here, and they're both fluid ounces. Okay, and cross multiply and solve. 24x equals 168 times 3. Well, let me just write what that is. Oops, 168 times 3. And it's 504, and we'll divide by 24. Divide both sides by 24, and x equals 21. Boom. Fun times. All right. 15 over 5, let's change that to a percent. Remember, a percent is like a decimal, but move the decimal 2 places. And so a quick way to do this one is just divide it in. So 5 goes into 15 3 times. So that's 3. Where's the decimal now? It's right there. Is that 3%? No, that's 300%. Okay. Another way to set this up is 15 over 5 equals x over 100. And you could cross multiply and you get 300. All right, to find the determinant. Best way to do a determinant for a 3 by 3 is to not do it by hand. So we're going to go right to matrix here, and let's change our 3 by 3. Oops, I didn't do edit. Matrix edit, then pick A. And I got a 3 by 3 in there, so 6, enter, 9, enter, negative 5, enter, 1, 9, 7, 3, 10, and 2. Okay, now go back to your home screen. Now this is the keystrokes here. This would be second, oops, not math. Get back here. Second matrix, and we're going to go to math this time. So everything's in matrix. Just go to math. So determinant, and then go to the matrix that you just did, which is matrix A. Hit enter. That's negative 56. Fun. Number 4, there's 4 tiles in a bag, A, B, C, and D. So this is a good one. It's a order does matter. How many different orders? So order does matter. It's a permutation. You could say it's 4, choose 4, or 4, pick 4 rather. Or easy way to see it is I got 4 options for the first letter I pull out, but then there's 1 fewer letter, so there's only 3 options, 2 options, 1 option, and just multiply each of those. And 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, or 4 factorial. So that's 24. All right, let's do a little bomb shelter. This is a bomb shelter of 3, and let's break down 216. So I'll deal with the negative bit in a second. So let's break down 216. Well, if you're not sure where to start with this, just like think of the easiest number you can think of. It might be, I think 3 would be an easy one. That would be 72. 72 times 3. 2 would have been easy too. 2 and 108. Now I'm going to break 72 down. This is 36 times 2, and this is 6 times 6, which is 2 times 3, and 2 times 3. All right, so this is all my fruit on my tree, all the furthest things out that can't break down anymore, my prime factorization. And don't forget about this negative in there. We're going to need to deal with that as well. So let's make bomb shelter. This is a bomb shelter of 3, given this rule right here. Now let's put everybody in. Here we go. 3, 2, 2. Let's put the 3's over kind of close to each other. 3, and I got, let's see, 1, 2, 3 2's. Okay, and then I also have to account for this -1 in here. So -1. Now, -1 all alone is kind of weird, but when you have a negative in the bomb shelter, I can get them out, but I have to like throw 2 more -1s in there. Remember, you can always throw a couple -1s in there because -1 times -1 is 1. So I just threw a couple extras in there, and that will help me get the negative out because it's a bomb shelter 3. So you can always manufacture because it's just 1. So let's go ahead and circle our fruit here. Every 3 get together and say, hey, we're busting out, everybody. They get out. Unfortunately, only 1 makes it out alive. The other 2 tragically pass away. All right, and this would be these buddies here. They get out, and there's a 2 that gets out, and that's awesome, except for 2 of them that didn't make it. And then the 1s also get to sneak out. So watch this. This is a 1, this one, and this one. They pop out a -1. So all this huge mess turns into -1 times 2 times 3. This is -6. So fun. All right. Number 6. With these 2 functions, let's find g minus h, okay, of 4. So what's g minus h of 4? Well, this is the same as if I plugged this. Remember, this is notation. This is not take some g things at minus h. This is just telling you what to do with your functions. So I'm going to take 4 and put it in here. This is -5 times 4 minus 17. Okay, and I'll figure out what that is. Then I'm going to subtract h. This is just telling me what to do. So -4 times 4 parentheses plus 9. This is the h part. Then I'll just do g minus h, and I'm done. Well, let's simplify each of these. 5 times 4 is 20. This is -20 minus, so this is -37. And this would be -16, and 9 would be -7. And so I'll get the g1 minus a -7. So this is really the g when it's evaluated for 4. This is the h. And so this is -37 minus negative. So that's plus a positive. Signs are different. Find the difference. This is -30. Ooh, now, calm down, pencil. All right, so hopefully I did it right. Permutation of 9 taken 3 at a time. So this is 9. It's clearly a p because they said permutation. And so we'll do 9p3. That you can do in the calculator, or you can use the formula. The formula is n factorial over n minus r factorial. Okay, so this would be 9 factorial over 9 minus 3 is 6 factorial, which is 9 times 8 times 7 times 6 factorial, all over 6 factorial. Notice how I stopped when I got to something that would cancel on the bottom. So this is 9 times 8 times 7, and 9 times 7 times 8, I don't even know that one. So this is 9 times 8 times 7 is 504. Let's verify it using the calculator. And this is a good way anyway, so I'm going to hit, you have to hit the number first. I think on the TI-83s anyway, you have to hit 9, then push the button. I wonder if I can do that. 9, and I'll go to probability. So go to math probability, and yep, it just did it fine for me. So I put the number in there, and so it'd be 9, pick 3, 504. Boom, got it. Okay, so either of those ways is cool. Find the additive inverse. Additive inverse. The additive identity is 0. So what added to this would make 0? What's the opposite of this when you're adding? Well, that'd be just the negative version of this. So it'd be negative 15r over 19. Done. Solve the inequality, graph the solution set. So let's just solve each of these inequalities real quick. This is going to be plus 1, plus 1. This is 45 less than or equal to 5x. Divide everybody by 5. And x is less than or equal to 9er. Okay, that was easy. And this is equally easy. Surprised they made it that easy. Plus 2, 65 is greater than 5, 5x. And divide both sides by 5. And I get 13. X is 13. X is greater than 13. Okay, we didn't divide or multiply by negative, so there was no chance of flipping the sign here. So now it's just a matter of graphing. So let's graph, and notice this word here, it's or, so it's going to be like both sets kind of put together. So let's go ahead and draw our line. And let's put some notable points on there. It's 9 and 13, so let's put 0 and down here. And here's 5, here's 10, here's 15. Good enough. Nothing too fancy. Now it's just a matter of graphing these things. So it's this or it's that. So x is greater than or equal to 9, so we'll put a filled in circle here at 9, and it's, less than, so it's going to go this way. Okay, filled in. And or x is greater than 13, so find 13, put a dot there, 13, and actually, correction, this should be open circle because there's no line right on this one. So open circle shaded to the right. Now, how did I know to do a straight line and not do an xy coordinate? The reason is there's only one variable in this. It's an x thing, and if there's only one variable, you only need one axis. So just do a number line on this kind of a thing. So number line for the solution set, and you're good to go. Good stuff. Calculate the slope. Really? All right. So this is delta y, rise, over delta x, run, rise over run. And how does the y change going from 4 to 0? That drops 4, so it's negative 4. How does negative 4 change to 8? So negative 4 to positive 8, that's an increase of 12. So negative 4/12, let's reduce that. And 4 goes into 12 3 times, so this is negative 1/3. Anyway, so there you go, negative 1/3, and the line falls and is not horizontal or vertical. That's the slope. Okay. All right, remember this one here. I think the easiest way, personally, is to write two cases, but it might be easier just to simplify this first. So let's isolate some things, and let's add 8, and this will be 4. Absolute value of 6x is less than or equal to 12 and 8 is 20. Now, let's divide both sides by 4. That's allowed, right? We're not doing anything too fancy here. This is 6x is less than or equal to 5 now. And this problem just got a whole lot easier. All right, now that I'm down to my absolute values, remember what we did before. Case 1 and case 2. Cool. All right. So the case 1 is that what if what was in here was positive? So that's just drop the absolute values. Easy, right? Divide by 6, and this is 5 over 6. Awesome. But what about the other case? Well, this is the case in which whatever was in there was negative. So I'm just going to do, remember to bend the parentheses? This is 6x, but put a negative out front, is less than or equal to 5. If you follow this, you won't make a mistake with it, okay? So now how do you solve this? This is just negative 6, so just divide both sides by negative 6. But what happens when we divide by negative? We get the Flipperoonie rule. So this is going to be changing to this way, and now this is negative 5/6. And so you get this and this. Okay, so just be real careful. I would isolate as much as you can. Try to isolate your absolute value first, and then set up each case that can happen there. All right, let's move on real quick. It says multiply this. You see squared on it. The best thing you can do is write it twice. If you just try to square the first thing and square the last thing, you're going to miss out on the O and I from FOIL, because this is clearly a FOIL problem. There are shortcuts for doing this, but again, I think this is just the simplest here. So let's do FOIL. Be ordered with it. I'm not a fancy, I don't have good handwriting. I go too fast sometimes, but I see the need for structure and organization when you're doing your work. So make sure you're following a process. Be patient with it as much as you can. So first times first, 4y squared. Now outer comes next. That is 14y. Inner is also 14y. And last is 49. Combine your middle two. This is 28y. And there you go. This one, and this one, just write it all together. 4y squared plus 28y plus 49. Donezo. So fun. All right, let's just do a few more here, and then we'll take a break. Let's see. We need to graph some intercepts. Now, the best way to find intercepts, guys, is to plug in some zeros here. So an intercept, so it's just like we would do in 2 dimensions. This one happens to be in 3 dimensions. So you have to kind of visualize this as like, okay, this is my flat plane here. This is the flat plane here. And then this Z here kind of rises up straight up and down through the plane. So everything's flat, and then the Z kind of comes straight up and down. So it's really hard to visualize this in 2-dimensional space to visualize a 3-dimensional axis like this. But we're gonna get through it. All right. So to do intercepts, guys, whether you're doing it in 2 dimensions or 3 dimensions, you got to pretend your x's and y are 0, and what would z be? And then pretend that y and z are 0, then what would x be? Because every intercept is like on the line, and if you're on the line, your x value or y value or whatever is 0. So that's what we gotta calculate. We're neither up nor down, nor forward nor backward. So let's try it. So one of the methods I showed you was called the cover-up method, where I just kind of cover up the ones I'm not using. In this case, I'll cover up 2 things. And so you could get 5z equals 40, divide that, and then you know what z is for your thing. So I'll just kind of do that in my head. So my first intercept, and because there are 3 things, you have a 3-order pair that like this. So let's do the x-intercept first. So my y is 0, my z would be 0. What would the x value be? Well, if I cover this up and cover this up, that means 4x is 40, so x would be 10. Okay? Now, let's do it again for the next one. Let's do the y value. So make this 0, make this 0. And if I covered up this one and this one, I'll get 8y is 40. Well, 40 divided by 8 is 5. And so that one's good. And the last one would be to do the z value here. And so we do 0, 0, because the x and y are both 0. That's what the intercept is. And then 5z is 40, so that would be 8. Okay, so now I have my 3 points, and now I got to plot these in 3-dimensional space. So the x coordinate is 10, so go out 10 on here somewhere. Just make it up, doesn't matter. The next one would be the purple one. The y value is 5, so go out 5. But don't go up or back or anything else, just go stay right on the axis. So this is 5. And then the height is 8. And so we'll say that's about there. Now, just like a line is in 2 dimensions, a plane is in 3 dimensions. So this is going to be kind of hard to draw, but essentially what we need is we're going to connect these dots here. Let's see if I can connect them. quit snapping. All right, here we go. And so we get this little plane here, and it's really hard to like draw this well, so I'm just going to apologize ahead of time. But we're going to get this plane here, and it's going to cut through those things. So if you had to graph it, that's kind of what it would look like. Just show the plane kind of covering that triangle. So pretty tough in two-dimensional space. You feel me, right? All right. This one's kind of an easy one here, finally. A equals base times height, or they use length and width, so we'll use length and width. So length times width, it says it was 10 feet and 5 feet. So we've got, I've got my original area, and then I've got new area. So A equals length, we'll say length 2 times width 2, and we'll see if we can find what happens. All right, it says the resulting room has twice the area. So now you know that whatever the area is twice as big as the other one. So this is 2 times the area of the first one is the resulting area. Okay, this is 10 and this is 15. There's a couple ways to solve this, but I think this is pretty good right here. A picture wouldn't kill you either. I'll put A1s on those. All right, so my length is 10, 15. My area 1 then would therefore be 10 times 15, which is 150. So this is twice that area. This is 300 then, okay? And so 300 equals, and let's put L2 in there. It says the increased both dimensions by the same amount. We'll call it, I don't know, X. So this would be, the length will be 10 plus X. And this one will be 15 plus X, increasing it by the same amount. Okay, so let's just solve this and we'll be done. We'll start with FOIL. So this will be funny to do a FOIL on this. Well, yeah, let's do our FOIL first. So first times first is 150. Outer is 10x, inner is 15x, and last is x squared. Now, if you had rearranged these to do x plus 10 and x plus 15, which wouldn't have been a bad choice, your f and L would have been opposites there, but whatever. All right, combine like terms there in the middle, 25x. And so now I get x squared plus 25x plus 150 equals 300. Okay, now we'll just subtract 300s. We always want to use that power of 0. And this would be x squared plus 25x. This would be minus 150 now. And I think, yeah. All right, so we're good there. And this all equals 0. So now how do you factor this rascal? Seems like it should be factorable. And I think it is. We'll see, things that make 150, but they have to have a difference of 25. Things that make 150 have a difference of 25. Well, if you ever get stuck, like I just did, just write all your factors down. 150, 2 times 75, 3 times 50. 4 does not go, right? No, 4 doesn't go. 5 does. 5 times 30. Oh, I found my pair. 5 and 30 have a difference of 25, so this is my pair. So this is going to be x and x, and one's positive, one's negative, so the positive is the 30, the negative is the 5. Okay, now a lot of people would quit there and they'd make a mistake, but you got to set each one equal to 0, right? Two things multiply to make 0, one of them must be 0. And we'll subtract 30, so x equals negative 30. Okay, I'm going to reject that answer right away. This is positive 5. So I'm going to reject this one. Why did I reject it? Because you can't have a negative area. He said he increased that length there. And so it's going to be increasing it by 5. And how much the builder should increase in each dimension, he should increase it by 5. And you can test that just by putting a 5 multiplying out there. Okay? Good stuff. So x is 5. This says, let me delete this silly thing. This says we have a system, and we can classify the system based on it. So look for like to see if one's like a duplicate of the other one, like a multiple of the other one. I don't see it here. So we can solve this any way we want to. And so I'll pick, I don't know, I'll just multiply the bottom row by -3, maybe. You kind of get to pick your own way. So this would be, I'm going to rewrite the first row. Okay. And second row would now be positive 6x and a plus 6y equals -30. Okay, so essentially we'll just add those rascals up, and what happens is these go away. So you get 9x equals, and then this would be -54. Divide both sides by 9, and you get -6. So x is -6. Plug into either one, and you're good. So 3 times -6 minus 6y equals -24. Okay, -18 minus 6y equals -24. Add 18, -6y equals, this would be -6, and divide by negative, so this y is just 1. So x is 6, y is 1, and it doesn't hurt you just to plug it back into the other equation to make sure you're right. And I don't have the answer key in front of me tonight, so I'm going to check it because I think I could have easily made a mistake. So -2 times x minus 2 times 1 here. Does this equal 10? Let's see. This would be positive 12 minus 2 equals 10. Yay, I did it. All right, good stuff. But this is the kind of stuff you need to do on a test. Like, take a second to check it, plug it into both of them, and make sure you got it, and then you can confidently move on to the next problem. All right, let's do slope-intercept form. I don't really care for it, so if you did y-intercept, slope-intercept form. Oh, no, never mind. I thought it said point slope for a second. Sorry, guys, it's late. Let me just do this real quick. So I got 2 points. What do I need to get this thing? I just need the slope and the y-intercept, and I'm good. So let's get slope first. That should be an easy one. Change in y over change in x. How does my x change and how does my y change? So let's look at it. My y goes from -3 over to 1. Oh, that's an increase of 4. Awesome sauce. All right, how did this one change? 2 up to 10. That's a growth of 8. So this all just means 1/2. So my slope is 1/2. Good. So now write y equals mx plus b. Use this slope in there. So let's do, I'll do y. I got to plug y in too. So I can just, I'm trying to get b, right? And so it's my x and plus b. And so just plug in these values. Now pick one of the points to use. You pick your favorite because they're both valid points. I'm going to go 10, 1. My x value is 10. My y value is 1. And so this would be half of 10 is 5. Okay. And subtract 5, this is -4 equals b. Boom. So now y equals 1/2 of x minus 4. This is my answer. Okay, and just to verify that, you could use the other point and just see if it works. And if it works, you're probably right. So let's see, x has to be 1. 1 minus 4 is -3. Just, it checks out. All right, let's just do a couple more. Let's see if I can get to 20. If I can get to 20, I'll be happy. Let's see if we can do it before I wear out. It's matrix. This is a matrix. All right, so I would use a matrix on this. You get your choice, but I'm going to use matrix because it's so much easier. Sorry about this little silly thing. There we go. How do you do matrix in this one? Well, again, this is 1x minus 1y plus 1z, so just turn this into a matrix. 1, -1, 1. 11, -11, 1. 2, 12, 1. So just turn this into your matrix. We'll call it matrix A. Now, the variable matrix would come next, and this is just x, y, z, just like the last test. And this is going to equal your constant matrix, which is just going to be 6, 86, and negative 42. Okay, we'll call this B. We'll call this the unknown matrix. Now, the way to solve a matrix equation, A times X equals B. The way to undo that A, in other words, you want to isolate this like any other variable, you're going to multiply by A inverse up here and also A inverse here. Now, A inverse times A will cancel out, leaving you X. So you'll get X equals, and then in your calculator, you're going to type A inverse B. Okay, so let's do it and make it happen. Cappin. That's not what I wanted to do. I just forget to go to edit. There we go. So let's go to edit, and this is going to be 1, enter, -1, enter, 1, enter, 11, enter, -11, enter, 1, enter, 2, enter, 12, enter, 1. Okay, so everything's in there, and now we got to go to matrix, edit. Now we'll edit B, and we'll just make it, make it the dimensions 3 rows, 1 column, and this is 6, enter, 86, enter, -42, enter. So once you get all these in here, this could not be easier, guys. Just go to your home screen here, and we're going to go matrix again. So we're going to go A. Now hit the inverse button. Oops, whoa. I did the wrong thing already. So go to matrix. I say it's easy, and then I'll do it the right way. So names, pick A. All right, now hit inverse, A inverse. Now go back to matrix, make sure you're under names, and hit B. It should say A inverse B. When you do that, hit enter. There's your answer. That's X, Y, and Z, just like that. Okay. I always am amazed how simple this looks. 4, -4, -2. Let the calculator handle this. This is just X equals, Y equals, Z equals. And that's it. All right, last couple, find the roots. Find the roots. How do you find the roots? Roots are when it equals 0. So just x squared plus 2x minus 3 equals 0. Okay, so the roots of this thing would be to factor this if possible. And so x and 3 and 1. And this would be a positive 3 and -1. And so x plus 3 equals 0, or x minus 1 equals 0. Subtract 3, x equals -3, or x add 1, and x equals 1. So there's your options. So fun. Yeah. All right, write the equation line that's parallel to this graph and crosses this point. This is one we do a lot in geometry as well. So let's make sure you got this process down. So we're going through this point and we are parallel. So parallel just means steal this slope. Steal the slope. And it's crossing this point. So I've got a point, I've got a slope. This couldn't be easier, guys. Okay. Plug in the slope and the point. So this is -9. And my x value is 4. Y value is -4. And b is what we're going to try to find. -36 plus b equals -4. Add 36, add 36. And so b is equal to, signs are different, find the difference, and this is 32. So y equals -9 x plus 32. And I hope that's right. I hope I go back and check these answers, but here, probably right. Find the LCD, the least common denominator, realizing that these are already common, so that's cool. So I just need to, this one would need a 3. This one would need a 7. So the least common denominator is just these ones, you get them common. So this is going to be 21x squared. They just want the denominator there. Okay, well, that's a good place to stop, the halfway point. I hope you guys are working hard. Appreciate you guys, and happy preparing.